the tutorial that's going to show you how to make this popcorn stitch. I have a video already on it, but it was a long time ago and it wasn't HD and I wasn't as patient of a teacher, so I decided I'd do it again because I had a few requests. So I'm going to show you how you can do it in rows like this. So you can do this stitch with any size hook and any size yarn. So what you need to do to start off, I grabbed a 5mm hook, size H hook, and a good size for a scarf, which is this, is a chain of 22, and you'll lose one right off the bat, so you'll have 21 as you're working. For the purposes of this tutorial, I chained only 12, but you go ahead and chain 22 if you're going to make a scarf. So once you have your chain of 22, what you want to do is single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So you're going to lose this first chain automatically. So single crochet in the second chain from the hook and down all the chain. Okay, I single crocheted and they're all stitches down my row, and then you want to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then turn your work. Now you want to double crochet in the very first stitch, and then you want to skip a stitch, so skip this next stitch, and then the following stitch you want to put 5 double crochets. So yarn over and working in this same stitch, you'll want to put 5 double crochets all in the same stitch. Usually I like to leave my tails much longer, then I'll work them in with the tapestry needle so they don't get in my way like this. But this is only a prototype, so a sample piece. So once you've got your 5 double crochets worked all in the same stitch, what you want to do is flip your work over to the back of it. And if you've worked a lot inside, doing double crochets, you can kind of tell which is the front and which is the back. But if you can't, you still have a space here which shows you that this is your first double crochet, so you can hold it like this. So you know that this stitch here is the first stitch of your 5 double crochets that you did, because you want it to fold in half. So you're going to be going into that first stitch, and so you can see it better on this side. See, that's the first double crochet that you did out of the 5. And then you just want to do a slip stitch. Doing a slip stitch is just grabbing the yarn and pulling it through that stitch and then pulling it through your loop. And you can tighten it if you want. Now you want to chain 2. Then you can turn your work back facing you, and now you can see how it's kind of folded in half. And this part here is going to be a stitch that you're going to be working with next round. So please keep this in mind. When I say the top of the popcorn, this is what I mean. When you folded it in half to create the popcorn, you also created this stitch. And that is now going to be called the popcorn stitch. Now, after you do your popcorn stitch, you chain 2. You want to skip 1 stitch, and again in the next stitch you'll do 5 double crochets again, all in the same stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, you have your 5 double crochets. This is the last double crochet that you did, and this is the first. This first stitch is where you want to grab a hold of it. Remember, you want to turn it over. If you're not sure which is the first stitch, again, you can recognize it from the front better than you can look from the front. This is the first double crochet that you did, so this is the stitch you'll want to use. You'll go into that stitch, pull, the yarn through that stitch and then through the loop on your hook to do the slip stitch. Then every time you do a popcorn stitch, you want to chain 2, because that's going to give your space in between your popcorns. So again, you want to skip 1 stitch, and then in the next put your 5 double crochets, and you want to continue to do this down the rest of your row. And when you get to the end of your row, I'll show you what you need to do next. Okay, I've reached the end of my row, and again, there's a skip stitch here, and then this is where you'd normally do your popcorn. But instead, since you're at the end of the row, you want to put a double crochet in this last stitch. So you'll skip 1 stitch, and in the last stitch put a double crochet, just like that. And that is how your first row looks. Of course, yours is probably much bigger, and you can do this for a blanket too if you like. So that's the end of row 2. So for row 3, you'll want to chain 1 and then turn. Now you're going to be working on the back of your stitches here. So you want to single crochet into all the spaces. So in this first space here, you want to put in the first single crochet, or I should say the first double crochet that you just ended last round, you want to put a single crochet there. Then in the space in between the double crochet and your popcorn stitch here, you'll want to put a single crochet. Then inside the stitch that I was telling you about that you created when you made the popcorn, you'll want to come up from underneath. Show you here. This is, see how it folds like this, but the stitch is there. You'll come up from underneath, and then you can come up through that hole that's in the top, just like that. And then you just, fighting with my yarn here, and then you just grab your yarn, pull it through that, and then you'll do a single crochet there. And then again, you'll do a single crochet in between the spots, and then in the next popcorn, then in between, and then your next popcorn. Then in between, then your next popcorn. You'll do that all the way till you get to the very end. And then you have your double crochet and your chain 3 at the very beginning. You want to skip the double crochet and just go into the top of the chain 3. This was our very first row, if you don't remember, very first row popcorns, where we did the chain 3 and we turned after doing our row of single crochets, and then we just went ahead and did a double crochet in that same stitch. Then we moved on and started doing our popcorns. So in this very first stitch, you have a double crochet in the chain 3. Skip that double crochet, and then just go ahead and single crochet in the top of that chain 3. And that will end your row. And that's ends row 3. And you just want to keep repeating rows 2 and 3 over and over again. So for this next row, you'll want to chain 3 and turn, and then double crochet in this first stitch. It's exactly what I was just telling you about here, how we did the chain 3 and double crochet. So when you come back on this side, when you're doing the single crochets again, you'll skip this double crochet we just did, and then you'll just be working the top of this chain 3. So after this, you want to, there's these places above where you did your single crochet inside the popcorn stitch. There's a single crochet now right above it. This is a single crochet you'll be working your 5 double crochets in this row. So I'm going to put my 5 double crochets in that single crochet above my popcorn stitch. 4, 5. Let me just make sure I have my 5. Yes, I do. And then again, you'll turn, find that first double crochet of the 5 and slip stitch and chain 2. And then again you'll be skipping 1 stitch, and then in the single crochet above the next popcorn you'll be doing your popcorn stitch. And this is how you'll continue to do. See how you're forming your popcorns above your popcorns, just like this one. And you can make this into an afghan or anything else that you like. You can also back up just a little bit. You could also do this in the round if you want. The only difference is when you do your first chain, you just connect it at the end, and then you won't have to do the single crochet row. You'll just continue your next row by doing your popcorn stitch worked right into that hole. See, this popcorn stitch above is not worked into the single crochet above the popcorn stitch. It's worked inside the popcorn stitch itself, because when you're going it around and around, you don't need to do that single crochet row that brings you back up to the front again. You just can keep working it over and over again. So just work right into your popcorn stitch every row, and you'll always be skipping 1 stitch in between. And that's it. It's really simple. I mean, you can make a bracelet, or you could keep going and make fingerless gloves, anything you want. And the same thing with this. You can make baby afghans, huge afghans, anything you like. So also these would make a nice scrubby if you wanted to make something for the bathroom. So that's it. That's how you do the popcorn stitch. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please don't forget to like and share, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.